Hey everybody, it's Lewpac here, back with another Albion Online video. And today's video we're going to look at 6 mistakes that I see new players making all the time. Now a lot of these are things that come up repeatedly on my live stream. Before we get into it, just if you don't know, I do live stream on Twitch Monday to Friday, around 40 hours a week of Albion Online content, so please be sure to throw a follow and check out the live stream at twitch.tv/Lewpac. It's a very different experience to the YouTube channel, so even if you've watched all of my videos, you might find it quite interesting to see the live stream. Anyway, let's get in to those mistakes that you need to avoid. Number 1 then is joining the first guild that invites you. Quite often as a new player, you'll get to the multiplayer tutorial area or the first ever starting town in one of the biomes, and almost immediately you might find yourself with a guild invite. A lot of players naturally feel very alone in the world of Albion and think, hey, a guild wants to recruit me already, this is brilliant, and they sign up. Now this is a bad idea for a number of reasons. Firstly, if the guild isn't for you and you decide to leave it, you've now put yourself on a 48-hour cooldown before you can join another guild. This could slow your progress if you find the guild that is right for you, and could be very frustrating if you're wanting to get straight in and get power leveled by a more powerful guild. Secondly is the situation that we like to call in the Albion community potato farming. So best case scenario, you've joined this guild that invites you in the noob zone, and they're just a genuine guild that invites absolutely everybody. So your guild mates are going to be comprised of beginner players too, and you're really not going to have a good experience. In my general opinion, the harder a guild is to join, the better it probably is once you're in, so bear that in mind. However, in the worst case scenario, you may have found yourself in what we like to call a potato farming guild. And in this particular analogy, the potato is you, the player. These guilds are designed to invite all of these new players. There'll be no activity in there apart from the new players talking to each other. The guild leader will be completely AWOL, and what they will have done is set a high guild tax so that any silver you and your guildmates collected is taxed heavily by the guild, and the money goes into the guild coffers, and the guild master logs in once every few days to farm his potatoes or withdraw all of your hard-earned silver from the guild bank. So don't just take the first guild invite that you receive. Do your research, find the guild that suits you, and I'll be doing a guild guide video very soon on YouTube. So number 2 on our mistakes list then is using all of their LP right away. Now LP or learning points are a finite resource. A premium player gets 20 per day, and a free-to-play player has access to 10 per day by completing their adventurous challenge each day. Now during the tutorial, it shows you that LP are a super cool and fast way to skip leveling something once you reach the LP threshold. However, a thing that a lot of new players are doing after the tutorial is using LP whenever the possibility arises to skip grinding, basically, which is what LP is for, but there is a more efficient way to use LP. They should only be used on certain things, and as a general rule of thumb, until you've decided to commit onto a particular build, you should not spend LP on any combat skills. Crafting and refining, stuff like that, you can actually power level through resources. The only thing I would advise spending LP on as a brand new player is advancing from one tier of gathering tool to the next. And the reason is this: anytime you go up a level in gathering tools, you're increasing your profitability per hour with gathering. So it's super important to use the LP on that, because it will mean you make more money, it's easier to get premium, and you're just going to have a better time. Other than that, you should let your LP build up until you know a bit more about the system and until you're committed onto a build. The third mistake then I see that new players are making right now in Albion is carrying their whole bank around with them. The amount of people I see buying bigger and bigger oxes as they level up and transporting everything they own around with them is actually quite surprising. Make use of banks, travel light at all times, especially in PvP zones, and be wary, even in the supposedly safe yellow zones, you can be knocked down by PvPers, and although you won't die, you will lose a percentage of your resource stacks in your backpack. So carrying everything around with you during these runs is a good way to start to lose your resources and get very frustrated when you have to repair absolutely everything you own. Albion does have a local banking system, so remember where you put stuff, but generally I would advise basing out of one town, and anytime you go out to do stuff in the open world, travel as light as possible. A, to minimize your risk, and B, to make sure you have as much carry capacity as possible to carry loot, resources and treasure back to the town. The fourth mistake, then, that I've been seeing a lot of people asking me in my stream and talking about it, is people trying to level everything when it comes to gathering. The amount of people that are like, right, I've got all of my tools to tier 5, now I'm going to get them all to tier 6, or I'm trying to get them all to tier 5, is very, very surprising. The money in gathering is at the top end. I would advise that early on you specialize in one thing and grind that one thing only, because you really want to push that as high as possible to make as much money as possible to sustain your premium and to be able to get a bankroll together for your equipment. Now, by all means, if you always live in the desert, once you've got skinning up high, by all means start to work on ore and fiber, the secondary and tertiary resources, because those will be present in the tile that you're in, but don't prioritize them over leveling your main skill. Don't try and keep everything at the same level, and don't try and completely self-sustain. It's totally okay to make your money with one gathering resource and then buy the other stuff you need. The amount of people that have this obsession with, I have to craft all my own items and stuff like that, you have to get out of that mentality. You want to make enough money to sustain your build. You don't have to build everything yourself. Some people may want to play that way. That's absolutely fine, but if you're looking for efficient builds and money making, then focus on getting one thing up as quickly as possible. On a similar vein then, number 5 is not stocking up some backup gear for your build. Once you've decided on your build, the amount of players that I see that play this like World of Warcraft or Elder Scrolls or a traditional MMO where they have one gear set and that is their gear set and they use it and they don't ever need to change. Now that's fine as long as you never go in the PvP zones, but eventually in Albion you will be venturing into those zones, and of course it's a risk that you are going to die, so you don't want to have one super expensive set. It's better to have 10 affordable sets that you can afford to lose. Get used to dying. Even go out once or twice flagged or into the black zone with the intention of dying. Make it part of your gameplay experience. Don't fear it, embrace it. You have to adjust your mentality to the full loot sandbox mentality. Get out of the non-full loot, the non-hardcore mentality of only having one set, and stock up 10 sets. Anytime I venture into the open world, think to yourself, this is what I think to myself, will I be annoyed if I lose this gear? And can I replace this gear 10 times over with my current bankroll? If the answer to the first question is yes, I'll be annoyed if I lose my gear, or the answer to the second question is no, I can't afford to replace it 10 times, then odds are you should not be wearing that gear to a PvP zone under any circumstances. Only wear what you can afford to lose and always play within your bankroll. And the final mistake that I see many new players making, and this is quite a big one, especially now in the wake of free-to-play, is fearing the black zone too much. Now, the black zone seems like the ultimate PvP environment. It seems super scary and super intimidating until you go there. But as weird as it sounds, right now, due to the massive overpopulation of the royal zones and the appeal for all the gankers and PKers, the black zone is actually safer than the red zone in a lot of places. You will probably need to navigate past portal gankers and campers when you go first through the portal into the black zone, but if you can get deep into the guild city plots, especially not during their prime time, you'll find a much more uncontested gathering and fame farming experience. And once you get used to evading the occasional ganker, I promise you that the black zones will be the place to be. As they say in real life and in Albion, once you go black, you never go back. So that's the end of this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this little insight into some of the mistakes I've been seeing new players make. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe to the video if you enjoyed it, and leave a comment below if you think there's any other mistakes or tips you can give new players. If you love my content and you would like to support the channel, please do consider becoming a supporter on Patreon. That's all from me for today then, and I'll see you next time.